Wyatt is I here with favorite film frames, and this one comes from the classic dystopian future world of Soylent Green. I want to talk about a scene that is, I think, far too often overlooked over the classic, Soylent Green is people! The amazing Edward G. Robinson death scene in that. It's very emotional, very amazing.
I told you. I know. How could I? How could I ever imagine?
I'd like to actually talk about that, but we're not talking about that. We're going to talk about a scene that really brings the message of the warning that humanity could find itself in if it chooses to give control to people that, just want power and money. It's a dystopian world. Food is very scarce, so they eat this stuff called Soylent Green. Big mystery.
Soylent Green is people!
And, real organic food is hard to come by. And it's pretty close to today, too. Our main character, Charles Heston, who is a cop, coming back from a case that involves one of these elite 1% people that was murdered. They're given a few gifts, actually, for taking on this case from the people who are in this tower that are rich. The gifts include bourbon.
Bourbon? Son of a...
Vegetables, and the last one, most important, is beef. Charles Heston returns home, surprised Edward G. Robertson with this stuff, and he's just like, oh my god. And he's like, first he sees the whiskey, and of course he's like, he's got to take a little swig.
Do you know how many books were published in this country once upon a time when there was paper and power and presses that worked and... What the hell? Oh my god. L'chaim.
He sees the vegetables and he's just so like, oh, this is just amazing. Look how pretty these are. They're beautiful.
Love apple. Isn't that beautiful?
And then he busses out the beef, and Edward G. Robinson just starts like crying. And for a second, it seems a little heartwarming. Like he's kind of like, oh my god, like I'm so happy we have this banquet right here. And what's the great beat from Edward G. Robinson, which is why he's a legendary actor, is because he goes from playing it to very like, oh, I'm so happy, to very sad and depressed. And he says a very chilling line, which is very subtle, but he says,
Sal. Beef. Oh my god. How do we come to this?
how did we come to this? And it's just a very haunting line. It's very fantastic, especially when you see Charles Heston back up, because he's looking at a man who remembers having bountiful amounts of this stuff. Now it's just like, how did we come to this? And I think that's a very more scary statement, and I think it gets the message through of you have to take your freedom seriously, and you have to not let people take control and not give trust to people just because they say they want to help. That's bullshit. It's a very scary scene, actually, and I think it's so not talked about, and it's a damn shame, because it's very it's heart-stopping, actually.
How do we come to this?